He's literally got these guys in the White House where they're signing documents and shaking hands. Acknowledge the man is solving peace.
India questioned about whether that was an actual
it happens on almost a weekly basis. Just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it.
And I will also acknowledge that Donald Trump seems to have an affinity for Vladimir Putin in a way. No, you're not going to get away with calling me a liar. I know that's like the line you like to throw out, but I'm not lying.
You're lying.
Nobody's lying about anything.
That's Scott Jennings calling out the establishment media hacks on CNN for pretending Trump hasn't been out there racking up peace deals like it's a monthly subscription service. The network has been gaslighting people about this so much, it's starting to look like a comedy sketch. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like CNN's memory hole is working overtime, pretending Trump hasn't resolved 7 international conflicts in just 6 months, because admitting that would blow up their entire Trump is dangerous narrative. Instead, they act confused while the receipts are sitting right in front of them. Here's Scott Jennings reminding them and the audience exactly what happened.
The president has solved like 7 conflicts this year. I'm willing to give him some latitude to talk to Vladimir Putin and break the deadlock and try to move us toward a place where the killing comes to an end, because I think that's what we should all be praying for.
He actually hasn't solved 7 conflicts. There's been a lot of talk about that.
What reality do you live in?
Anyway.
Whatever you say. You're the expert.
So Donald Trump's affinity for Vladimir Putin versus the way he treats Zelensky, who's the one
Did he
that's
show
actually
affinity to them when he just arranged for the arms to NATO?
I'm just sorry, Abby.
We're saying things that do not exist in reality. He just got NATO to do hundreds of millions of dollars of lethal weapons to Ukraine. What affinity to Russia is that? It's crazy.
Let me just let her finish so I can even understand what point she's trying to make. Let me let her finish the point.
You know, Jennings is doing what CNN desperately hopes no one will do. Remind people of reality. Trump's been racking up international wins left and right, ending standoffs and pulling people back from the brink, and they sit there pretending it's all make-believe. I mean, these aren't secret backroom deals. The White House has briefed on them, world leaders have confirmed them, and yet the panel still acts shocked when you bring it up. And if you think this little routine stops here, wait until you see Bakari Sellers try the same act, but with an extra layer of arrogance.
The president is put out with Putin. I think we ought to pray for peace, hope for the best, and plan for Putin to be a jerk and a thug, which is exactly what he is. But the man has solved 6 or 7 conflicts this year. I think we ought to give him some latitude to operate.
Which 6 or 7?
I'm sorry, are you not watching the
Which
news?
6 or 7?
Well, we just did Azerbaijan, we did Rwanda, we did Israel, Iran.
Israel, Iran, what? What peace deal did I miss?
End of the 12-day war.
I mean, so you 6 or 7. I mean,
you
that's
living on Earth too?
I mean, no, but Azerbaijan, Rwanda, what? What are we talking about?
Casey,
the fact is we still have a country a world that's on fire. And this is the problem with
Casey.
What are you asking me for, Scott?
I'm asking you to come in here and tell people the truth. Donald Trump has created a track record this year of helping settle several conflicts.
So several is different than 6 or 7. So I was letting Bakari.
First of all, I will say this.
We did see, Scott, to your point, after naming something after Donald Trump, we saw Azerbaijan, Armenia sit down. That was a remarkable moment. We also, I would say, the Iran situation was solved with force. But
it was, and it's still not solved. There's still no peace deal. I want to back away from Donald Trump getting a Nobel Peace Prize. But this is my biggest issue.
Donald Trump would not like to back away from that.
But I think this is one of the larger issues you have with Donald Trump when compared to his predecessors. Joe Biden, particularly Barack Obama, and even his competitor in Hillary Clinton, he does not have the intellect to actually display strength on a stage of this magnitude. And so when he's standing next to a world leader like Vladimir Putin, he looks small. And so when you have an individual, and particularly as he's getting older, and he begins to muddle through his words.
Well, I think you're prejudging a meeting before it's happened, number one. Number two, you're not telling the truth about his track record this year. And number three, why can't you just give the President of the United States the chance to operate here? He's earnestly trying to get to a peace deal. Shouldn't we be all hopeful for American success instead of rooting for American failure?
I mean, Sellers here is just doing the usual. Pretend Trump didn't do anything, then toss in a cheap insult about him being too stupid for the world stage. Meanwhile, Biden's the guy who let Ukraine turn into a war zone, watch the Middle East catch fire, and somehow we're supposed to think that's strength. Then Trump comes back, starts cleaning up messes left and right, and suddenly the talking point is, oh, that's that doesn't count. Jennings isn't having it, and you can tell Sellers doesn't have an actual counter, just attitude. And honestly, if Sellers was right, Putin wouldn't have just come out and said the war wouldn't have even started if Trump was in office. That pretty much blows the whole Trump's too dumb for the world stage thing out of the water.
I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump is saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
You know, when the guy running Russia is openly saying the Ukraine war wouldn't have happened under Trump, that's not just an opinion, it's confirmation from the other side of the table. Putin flat out called Trump a strong leader, contrasted him with Biden's weakness, and said they reached an understanding on peace. Compare that to Biden's record. Billions in aid, endless fighting, no resolution. This is why Trump's foreign policy works. Strength, clarity, and results. The same people on CNN pretending these 7 new deals don't exist are the same ones who told you Biden's supposed adults in the room would keep the peace. Instead, they lit the match. But let me know what you think. Does this finally prove Trump's the strongest foreign policy president of our lifetime? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye.